Are you a small business or a side hustle? We're going to talk about the top 3 mistakes business owners make when trying to have a side hustle. And stay to the end because we give 3 examples of stuff we encountered that inspired this video. And action. Action.
Oh, I'm reading the first paragraph. The so-called gig economy spawned millions of small businesses. I bought my first house by working 2 jobs. I get that. But so many times these folks actually refer to them as, I got my side hustle because they have a day job.
We're not disparaging starting a side hustle. We're going to get into is your small business.
Yeah, stop treating it like it's just extra money. You didn't walk down the sidewalk and trip over a little brown paper bag full of money, which, by the way, can be very bad because maybe someone just robbed a bank. Side hustle. It's a small business.
What we see is most of the time the side hustle mentality, people fail to focus on the income potential and also the focus on the service, the product, the client, and all that goes into the day-to-day that earns you the money that is the reason you started that side hustle.
And isn't it like you always say, did you start a business to own a job? I get that, especially with COVID, with all the things that we all did to survive economically, financially. You went out there, you're looking for money, but you got to remember, if you're in control of how that money comes into you, whether you're an Uber or Lyft driver who sets a schedule and decides, okay, I'm going to take the car out today, or you're a Grubhub delivery person or shopping delivery services, or
Instacart.
You're somebody who has a farm
or create crafts.
Etsy.
We're picking these not because we're picking on anyone starting these types of side hustles, but it's during COVID and when we were dealing with thousands of small business owners, a lot of them were going to the convenience factor of what they could do.
Because they needed the money.
And also there was a lot of Lyft and Uber drivers that needed help with applying for a loan.
You've really hit on something important because when we were processing all of those folks' EIDL applications, and we helped a lot of our clients with PPP and other grants and things, time and again, the folks who had the quote unquote side hustle just didn't think of themselves as a business owner.
No.
They thought of themselves as having a job.
Yes.
But a job pays you with the W-2 and you get a boss who tells you what to do. If you're the one telling yourself what to do and you get a 1099, or like the guy who bought a power washer and puts an ad on Facebook and power washes people's houses, or sells on Etsy by creating crafts and you find your own customers, it's your income.
Yeah.
You're responsible for it. That makes you a
business owner.
But up home. We just encountered this problem recently with someone that we depended on for a service provided to us. In terms of pricing, the pricing was pretty comparable if we performed this action ourselves, but there was a convenience level. Linda and I work from home mostly. Sometimes we would go to our office, and this particular service provider gave us a chance to avoid doing something that would eat up some time.
For the trade of time, yeah,
right?
It was a no-brainer.
But in terms of the dollar value, it was basically equal if we went out and did it ourselves. What we noticed time and again was what was convenient for us often became inconvenient.
What do you mean?
Well, because the person didn't treat the service like a business.
Yes. Well, is that mistake number 1?
It became inconvenient, and that became the inspiration for this video. We started thinking about all the folks who has or had a day job.
The convenience was where if it wasn't convenient for them because they had a full-time job and they make money, so this is just gravy, then you're not putting your customers or potential customers first. When you don't do that, you're running into the problem of not getting a referral or repeat business.
When things would happen, whether it was a time management issue because the person didn't show up on time when they said they were going to be here, or service-related issues, now we have to do that, but I thought you were taking care of that, but why am I doing that, but I'm paying? We felt mistreated. And ultimately, and very recently, we said, we're done. And this is a relationship we've had for almost 4 years. And it's a shame because the person, I'm sure, relied on the extra income.
So as business consultants assisting thousands of business owners during COVID for financing purposes, what we observed was that people who were having the side hustle, they were, it's just extra money, so it's no big deal. And they just treated it as a hobby more than anything. So let's get into the 3 mistakes, Trev, of what side hustlers do.
Here we go. Number 1, a failure to nurture customer relationships. And Lynn, Lynn, this is exactly what we just said a moment ago about this service provider, is that she just didn't treat us like customers.
Well, I actually complained about the quality of the last delivery of the product. She never got back to me. Yeah.
Failure to communicate. You have to put the face to the money. You've got to connect the customer not with the money that you're getting in your hand today, but also as a part of your future so that you can prepare for that and be resilient for how you interact with that customer on every level in the future. All right. Mistake number 2 is poor time management.
The problem is because I feel like it's a hobby on steroids. That's the mentality. And if you have a job, that's always going to be the first priority. And then all the other things that happen in your life, whether it's family, travel, personal activities that you do that derives joy.
You know, the thing is, many of your customers, they're willing to pay you just for one concept, for convenience, because you can provide something to them that frees up their time, lets them do something else, whether it's family life, personal life, business life. And as we mentioned earlier, when it became inconvenient for us, we were done. And part of that inconvenience was informed by this person's poor time management. Oh, it's going to be there by 3:00, and then it shows up 4 hours early, and then we're not ready, and then...
It's a matter of managing expectations. And if you manage expectations, take the time ahead of time, then that frees you up to then know how to handle the customer relations or the interactions of deliverables, etc.
Time management means you have your day job, you have your side hustle. You've got to accommodate for both in your daily, weekly, monthly, and annual calendar. And if you have boundaries created in terms of your time for your day job and your other small business side hustle, quote unquote, you will take care of your customers much better. You will feel better and you'll make more money.
There's a trust factor of the value factor. If you manage expectations, the client will trust you. Mistake number 3. Let's roll it out.
Are you ready? Because you know we're going to beat this one to death. Absence of a written business plan. I'm reminded that when you owned your insurance agency, you had a written business plan.
Few times, because it's not just set it and forget it or put it in the drawer because it's done. It's not like a will, then just file it. It's a living, breathing.
Okay, get out of my head.
Yeah.
As a mortgage banker, I had actually 2 written business plans. I had a side hustle. I'm a musician. That was my extra gig. So while working as a mortgage banker, mind you, I didn't own the company. I was a salesman, but I had a business plan. And then for my music business, I had a written business plan. You write a business plan, it helps you understand how to nurture your customer relationship because you set standards for yourself. You set pricing requirements.
The written business plan is what gives you permission to dictate how people will work with you and how you want them to work with you. If you only can be reached, by email on Mondays and Thursdays between 10 and 3, you've set that ahead because you've shared it and you've managed the expectations so people know what to expect. My chiropractor, she's closed on Thursday. I'm not going to...
And that is the kind of thing you put into a written business plan. It's bad enough that we're all trying to run business. Then COVID came along. It created all these extra challenges. Written business plan gets you past the finish line every time, and your side hustle becomes, Linda, a small business.
When you have a small business, and in life in general, there are surprises, uncontrollable surprises that are going to happen no matter how much you plan. When you have a plan and you have some of the basic fundamentals of what the expectations are of your time and how your clients are interacting with you, then when there really is something that pops up that is like, I did not plan for that, I was not expecting that, and something blows up for an hour or a day or a week or whatever, you're able to prepare for it because you've managed all the other minutia.
That gets around the applause, by the way. But you get ready for challenges with a written business plan, but you also get ready for something more important than challenges: opportunities.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Because your business plan says, this is where I am with my side hustle, and this is where I want to go. Maybe you aspire to something that you don't actually achieve, but it doesn't mean you didn't try. But to have it in writing, say, these are my goals. This is where I want to be with this thing I've created. I want to quit my day job. Yeah. Or I just want to make an extra amount of money to pay for my kids' college tuition or buy a car or whatever. Have that in writing and to have a plan to get to that. When an opportunity comes up, you can say, wait a minute, here's a chance for me to grow the business to get that step up. Let me go to the business plan. oh, look, that gets a round of applause for myself.
Yeah. I'm going to put my vest back on because I was having a little hot flash. Continuity issue.
We want to talk about a couple of examples of kind of side hustle things that
so 3 examples of side hustles that
failed. I attended an SBA Small Business Administration webinar recently.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a very important topic that was being covered in this very vitally important. And for me, as a consultant who has helped thousands and thousands of small business owners with that program, the Ideal program, I was tuned in advance. I show up early as a normal course. Anyway, it astonished me how many people didn't show up on time.
But wait, it got worse. The ones that didn't show up on time or were in the grocery store.
That was my favorite.
They were telling people, I'm in the middle of the grocery store. They were giving their situational awareness.
Well, no, it was even worse than that. There was no situational awareness. Somewhere about half an hour into the video, in the comment section, the person comes in and says, I'm sorry, can you repeat that part again? Because I'm in the grocery store. Mistake number 1. And I'm watching the video on my phone. Mistake number 2. And I got another call. So I took the call.
Come on.
And can you repeat everything? Wait.
What?
So clearly you are a side hustle mentality. You're not running this like a business. Come on. Yeah. That person is not a business person.
All right. What was the other one that was juicy?
We had hired somebody and the person did a fantastic job for us. We're not going to get into details of what the job was. It was external to our house, something outside.
But everything, the stars aligned and the universe was just so where when I reached out, he was like, I can be there in a couple of days. It was affordable. He was on time. Work was great. I then hired him again.
Second time was great also.
Same. And then the third time, that's where things kind of got wonky. Now, it's a seasonal type of business. So when I hired him for the first 2 times, it was winter or fall or something like that.
So he may not have been as busy.
The spring came and I was like, all right, let's do this. And all of a sudden, there was a lot of back and forth about when and dates and when he was busy. And then all of a sudden that slot was taken. And then it was really all through Facebook Messenger. And when it got complicated, it was like, well, can we maybe call me? This is like insane how much back and forth we're doing here.
This story is a great example of how this person literally committed all 3 of the mistakes. Mistake number 1, a failure to nurture customer relationships.
I hired him twice before. And
I wrote a review and referred other people.
And I wrote a review too. So at what point do you value somebody who is now a repeat customer? Okay.
The second one was the poor time management, because the problem the second time around was he literally said, I'm really busy.
I'm getting really busy.
So you better let me know. So then when we picked the day.
I love when people are making money. To tell me that you're busy? Yeah, no.
Which leads to mistake number 3. No written business plan. We don't know for a fact, but based on the behaviors and the thousands of business owners we've spoken to, because if you did, you would know that in your business plan, okay, I'm sitting down on a Sunday morning reading my business plan for the next 3 months. What have I told myself previously when I wrote the plan? Oh, that's right. The next 3 months, I'm going to be crazy busy. So I want to make as much money as possible. So how do I accommodate clients in terms of communications, service, timeliness, and so forth?
Well, if you're really busy, then maybe you set up a online portal to schedule appointments where I don't have to even talk to you. I just schedule it on my computer without you, and you've allotted the times and slots. And even if I have to wait 2 weeks, it's fine because you allowed me to pick the time. There's solutions, but most often people are just bouncing around aimlessly with their activities.
This is Linda Ray, and I'm Trevor. We want to thank you for tuning in. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, get notifications, watch our other videos.
And if you do have a business plan, put that in the comments and just let's celebrate that you have a business plan, because you are in the minority, my friends.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you very much. Thank you. No, really, thank you. Thank you.